Hey everyone, Corey from Aquarium Co-op. It's been 2 months, the summer's almost over, and I'm checking in on what's going on. So, lots of things kind of getting ready, season's starting back up, summer's coming to an end for me. So, yeah, 230 gallon. We've got some Bristol Shabunkins, which if you don't know what those are, stay tuned. They're kind of a cool looking, different tail Shabunkin, but this is a flagtail Prochulotus here, chilling in this 230 gallon tank that's kind of, custom. And we removed the goldfish out of this to bring them out into the ponds. And what was left behind, well, a few cherry shrimp. And over the last couple months, they have populated into the hundreds. So you can see them, right now they're eating a lot because I put food in there and, some of the community pellet. This guy likes to go up and skim the surface for it. But yeah, we're gonna put goldfish in here, so they'll probably eat all those again. But yeah, I ordered some Chihiro's lights for this tank to make those goldfish pop. And just a heads up, you will pay a import tariff. So there's no heads up on that from Chihiro's, and I haven't installed them yet, but it was like 150 bucks more. So these lights were stupid expensive. Coming over here, lots to go over here. Took out lots of bio rings from the 800 gallon and upgraded to sponge material and Metalamat and things like that to try and get the water clearer. So some different iterations of that. Haven't been breeding during the summer, so you can kind of see here things are just in stasis. Well, I haven't been breeding stuff I had to pull eggs. Like I've made tons and tons of shrimp. All the tanks might look a little bit, see stuff floating in it, and that's Magic Small Fish Feed. But yeah, lots of ocean blue shrimp. And, so one of the things I want to cover in this video, kind of the update, you see how these crypts are thriving? All the tanks in my fish room, they automatically change water together. I dose them all at the same time. All of that is uniform. And one of my crypt tanks totally crashed, even though I didn't change anything. So you'll see that just happens. And now I have the most proof I've ever seen of like, you could just be doing nothing different and it literally will crash. And I know that people saw, well, what is this? You can buy these online. I use the caps for bigger things, but like in the 10 gallons, sometimes I'll just load up a syringe. This is, you pop this thing in here and then you can fill a syringe up and then dose. So sometimes that's better, sometimes it's a pump, sometimes it's the cap, which I have no caps, but I have lots of Easy Green down there and there's none right here. So, cap right there that I'm using on dechlorinator. Because I know people will think it's some kind of conspiracy, but I just test lots of things and try things, and what you see in the video isn't necessarily always the best. Update on Corey getting snail free. Answer is no, not snail free yet. There are lots of snails in here. We did make a couple of babies. If you saw the short that I did, these are Cyprichromis leptosoma blue flash babies. The adults are in here somewhere, but I tried to get rid of all of them. The Steenfots missed 2 adults. The adults have had babies, so now we're back up to 4. If I don't intervene here soon, it's gonna be just more and more. Now you might see in the back, there is a colony of pygmy Coriodoras in here. But this, I kind of keep farming out the dwarf chainsaw to the store, and we sell it off in grab bags. There's some more of those guys. And yeah, still on the redo list. So that's why I still have snails, is I know I kind of need to redo the whole tank. And you can see here there's cherry shrimps, but also Pinocchio shrimp there. Not working on that. They don't eat cladophora algae, just the hair algae. So for instance, if I do have some of those coming into the store, I'm gonna grab some from the store. They will clean this up, this hair algae. Now I turned the light up because I kind of wanted to see the fish more. And I've got this big red flame sword over here. But, this stuff comes out fairly easy with a couple shrimp will, that'll eat it, cleans it right up. And the thing to know about algae is it's perfectly good for your fish and your animals. It just is unsightly. So, it doesn't take too long to get some of this hair algae out. And then you just use the animals to polish it off there. But you can see all the shrimp leaving it. They're like, hey, we'd like to feed on that, buddy. What are you doing? And so yeah, you kind of just keep pulling, and they call it hair algae because it feels like hair, by the way. If you've never had it yet, maybe you're new, or maybe you just thought you've had it and you haven't had it, it'll feel exactly like it's hair wrapped around your fingers. Get off there. Something like that. So that's how you'll know it's a hair algae. And yeah. On one hand, if you're breeding fish, it's amazing. On the other hand, if you show videos on YouTube, it's terrible because people say, hey, that looks bad. I go back and forth on whether I like it or don't like it, depending on what I'm doing. But yeah, just pulling all that out. And then you can kind of see here, it just keeps coming out like hair. And then you kind of get the water out of it. And then, yeah, it you know, really looks like hair, I would say. Now you can feed this to like African cichlids, or, you know, like I bet you the Rosie barb, well, I know the Rosie barbs will chow it down. In fact, if we skip past a bunch of this and we go see some Rosie barbs over here, like I've got some Rosie barb babies growing up, and you can see them pulling the algae that was in this tank off, and the goldfish will do it too. So if I just drop that in here, which you're gonna go, that's insane, why would you do that? It's just food. And so let's see if they'll start doing it on camera here, which that'd be too convenient for me. But these are normal shabunkins, by the way. I had mentioned I was gonna get some Bristol shabunkins. These have the normal like V-shaped tail, where Bristols have more of a B shape. Yeah, they're starting to, you know, these guys, the small barbs, are starting to nip at it a little bit, and they'll just eat it. So we'll go back to, there's some guppy grass for you. We'll go back to where we were so we don't lose our spot. These are some, I have to look up the name, but I originally tried to order a type of emperor tetra, and these are a type of carry tetra. Got the light down low, no algae eaters. So maybe you're wondering, like, do you really need algae eaters? And in my experience, yes. Otherwise, you know, substrate will just build up a layer of diatom. If you gravel vac or move a plant, you know, it's fine. But without anything, without an autosynclus, without a shrimp, there's no snails, there's absolutely nothing, just these fish and a few plants, that's what you get. And you may have seen the short. Again, I did a short where I was cleaning the glass, had to grow it on this, and now, in fact, they're right here. You know, so I was, just in case you don't watch the short, how easy these work. Like, there it goes. And let's say I want to do the side, like there went a bunch. And so, you know, these are great. You know, this water will look bad now that I've done this, but I like them for the corners especially. And yeah, and then the gravel part, if I just get in here and gravel vac or get anything that's going to do stuff from the bottom, it'll clean up. So, you know, summer slowdown. This is what we see. So now we've got gold guppies. Most of these have been going to the store from this tank. You see the crypts growing, looking awesome, right? Same water change system, same fertilizer, everything. And then we go one tank over, which I'll let you kind of look at these gold guppies for a bit. I've got another tank of these going. If you go over here, this tank used to be all the red Cryptwendeti reds. And one day it just melted down to this. They'll come back. You can see they're actually starting to come back now, which is kind of helpful, which you would probably say, like, that's impossible, Corey. That can't be helpful. I want to catch out all of the black Moscow guppies, take them to the store, which I've tried to do that like 6 times now. And unfortunately, I never get them all. There's always like tiny babies that were all hidden in the plants. So I couldn't put anything else in here really yet. So now I can do that, which is great. I'll show you these guys. This is planaria on the glass here. Some people swear they're, you know, not good for shrimp. I haven't had big problems with them. I wouldn't say they're beneficial, but you can get different types of fish that'll eat them. And they show up in my, well, they're probably in your tanks too. They're pretty much in everybody's tanks. These are a couple of platinum angels that I'm hoping, you know, might pair off. I ordered a group of 6, but I struggled with them. They actually were ill at Dan's Fish, and he refunded me before I even knew. And then I lost 4 out of the 6, which not a great sales pitch other than I got refunded all my money and I have a pair. And so hopefully my whole goal was to get a pair and breed some of these platinums, which the platinum pearl scale, the iPhone here is not doing its best, but you want the shiny part on the side. That's important. If it's just a white fish, that's not what you want. You want the pearl scale gene. And so often you'll see where they're like, oh, I'm selling that, and then you order them and you don't get that. And that's annoying because that's a waste of money. So then we've got gold guppies number 2, a little bit of algae on the glass, as you can see. And these black blue shrimp, which now that we have so many fish in here, they're not producing as much. We got some baby Corridoras that I moved into here. And this is just group 2.0. So they all stemmed from this female that is now old. It's one of the original ones I brought in. I still like the metallic color on her, but she's at end of life basically. She probably, well, she's got a little bit of orange, so there's some eggs still. There's not too many more spawns left in her, and you know, if you don't know, guppies really only live like, depending on the temperatures and how old when you got them, like maybe a couple of years. And so if I've had it, you know, I don't know the video, but maybe I've had it a year, it was already fairly large when I got it. So, you know, we don't really breed guppies for longevity anymore. We don't keep them cool enough. But I wanted to start, I took her and the male I wanted, and I'm trying to get basically that metallic gold to breed more true, because I can get the pastel, let's see, all day long. I can get the pastel males all day long, but I want more of the gold in the pastel lighter colors. So I got to go through here and kind of do more sorting. Like this male back here is more what I'm looking for. You see how he's nice and gold color? Doesn't have the metallic on him yet, but that's a lot closer to what I'm trying to get to, and so it's going to take time to get there. Store needed guppy grass, so I said, well, I can grow guppy grass, and sure enough, I have made tons and tons of guppy grass. Now they have too much, and if I could, you know, impart any wisdom, it's that this is absolutely amazing for any library you need, and then any shrimp. You see how we've got a mono shrimp, and we've got cherry shrimps, and if we look from the top here, you can see that when I feed up top, they will just skim the surface like they're doing right there. And so, let's see, if I move the light, you won't be able to see as much, but you can see there's probably, I don't know, 700 shrimp in here or something. Unfortunately, there's a little bit of duckweed too. So, and then I've got, you can see up there, they're the fireball, little dwarf platies. And so the Anubias, so here's the thing that if you don't know, Anubias and Java ferns, they don't do as well when they get bright light. And I know that's gonna be like, what? Plants love light. But so look over here. Same conditions again, remember, same water change, same bait, you get a scoop of food, same fertilizer. But if you look over here, you see how it's like covered in green spot algae? It's getting more light, there's nothing to cover it up. Where if I come in here and I pull away the stuff that was covering it up from the light basically, come on, let go. Ugh. So because it wasn't directly in the light, you see how nice those leaves are? That, you know, those couple leaves were some of the older ones and they were getting full light. But dimmer light and shade really does Anubias and Java ferns well. Now this tank actually looks pretty cool when we come in and we move a bunch of guppy grass. So I can move a bunch of it out of the way here, which is great for breeding, but in terms of showing you like the little mountainscape we had going with the Anubias and everything. Come on. Yeah, I thought it was starting to look pretty cool. Haven't de-snailed this one yet. As you can see, lots of ram's horn snails. I need to get my snail traps going, but this guy here, this is the worst mix of fish you've ever seen. So you've got the shabunkins, you've got the longfin white clouds, you've got the Rosie barbs growing up, and you've got pea puffers. And this is some of my testing that I've been doing. I'm trying to say, like, will pea puffers actually rid a tank of snails? And the answer is no, they won't. Like, there's one right here, right? And I routinely see, there's one right there. So they're just not effective. A trio is not effective in a 40 breeder. And you might be like, give them more time. Well, okay, 5 months. Like, I don't know how much longer I can give them. They are not even taking down Mr. Big Shrimp back there. So, yeah. And I'm not going out of my way to feed them. I'm keeping them particularly hungry, so they have to hunt. But, yeah, so just kind of, I'm doing lots of testing and just, you know, so far have I missed anything like the Rosie barbs? People, like, I didn't know they really ate algae this well. And so more and more people are now documenting it, which is nice. So it's not just my crazy use case scenario, but yeah. So yeah, and just a little sword back there. Man, I hate how, like right now there's, to the eye, not that dirty, or not that like much stuff in the water, but on camera it looks like it's super hazy. I hate that effect. So let me go over here. And yeah, a little bit of algae on the glass. This is Celestial Pearl Danio tank. Just been playing with these guys. And this was an attempt at de-snailing. And there's that shrimp right there is a orange tiger or tangerine tiger. And so I haven't got those to take off in here for me, which I was hoping. And snails, I missed some snail eggs, and so I'm gonna trap them a bunch and figure out how am I gonna actually eliminate them. But again, the light in here is super low. And you see how like the Java fern in the back doing pretty well. Got some algae, so I'm gonna get some shrimp in, the Pinocchios in here to do some work. Over here, been playing with more Crypt Nuri. And you know, lots of shrimp. The problem when you have lots of good plants, you get lots of shrimp, but then it's hard to kind of harvest them and take them to market, you know, which is the store. But tons of them in here. And again, Magic Small Fish Feed, just feed a ton. These guys, I haven't moved all of them yet, but this is one of my favorite tanks to kind of chill and check out. So I'm wanting to breed these ruby barbs next. You know, kind of the red nose and the black body is the male. And then kind of the lighter color ones here, the females. And then, yeah, we still have balloon mollies. I still have never made any of the platinum, so I'm convinced the batch that I bought for too much money, something was causing that to be impossible. But again, if we look at light, which I like to look at this aquarium from across the room, it's brighter. The camera will probably auto expose, so you won't see that. But what we can see here is that, you know, there's algae on the plants. They would like less algae. You can see, hey, here's a Pinocchio shrimp doing its thing. And yeah, so the other fish, the pitbull plecos right here, you know, they're more like a cross between an autosynclus and a Corydora. So I'm trying to get them to breed as well. So kind of just power feeding a little bit. I haven't found what they really love yet. So I've been kind of trying some wafers, but then, you know, I get way too many mollies on them and that kind of stuff, so they have to compete, and that's actually one of the videos that I want to do. I'm thinking about trying to do like a presentation video essay style of you know, some topics. And does she not look super pregnant? Like, I swear she should give me babies. So platinum won't focus, but yeah, that one right there, I swear. But my hypothesis and the thing that I want to prove to everybody pretty much is that we're feeding our fish too big of food. And like, here's one example. Like, these guys it's not that they won't eat. It's imagine you get a pizza, except it's not cut. You just gotta take bites off of it. Versus it's cut into smaller pieces and you can get a hand on it, right? And you take bites out of that. And I think that's one of the biggest problems. No, well, that's not right. Not the biggest problems. I think it's a problem in the hobby that we don't really teach what size of food, and because I don't even know. I just know that I seem to see fish thrive when the food is smaller. And I think that can be an important lesson that I'm going to try and teach and show. And I'll show you guys a little bit in this video. I want to get a bunch of B-roll clips so that you can kind of understand why I think that, you know. But you can see just from here, all the fish are now ganging up. So the whole point was to get these guys some food, and they don't get any because everybody's on board. And by the way, the people that are probably calling me out in the comments, that is a molly that died. The mollies now are old enough where they're starting to cycle through that kind of 2-year window-ish thing. So you might lose a molly and then the tank digests it. And yeah, I'm big on letting the tank kind of digest it, because snails and shrimp and plecos would be eating that in the wild anyway. If I was gonna shoot, you know, not an update video like this, I'd probably remove it. But new generations come too, like this little guy, and so it's the circle of life in here. But you know, you can see the shrimp not getting any action on the food, and you can see this big pleco, well, I quote unquote big, this dwarf claro pleco, but big in comparison to the fish, 2-inch fish. He's able to worm his way in there and go, this pleco or this wafer is mine. But again, the fish I was trying to feed, these pit bull plecos, they're just not boisterous enough to get in there. And so if I don't spread the food all around, they just don't get fed. And so that's where the magic small fish feed and flake food and, you know, not concentrating the wafers. Like in this video, you saw me, I dropped them all in the same spot. But if I strategically come in here and I put, you know, I kind of spread them out as much as I can, hopefully, now it's a lot more food, but you can see fish starting to spread out. Now we've got the shrimp getting one, and he's literally pulling it away. And again, that's another thing, like a big fish pulls it away, or a shrimp, now that's theirs and nobody else. But we can kind of see here that still none of the ones that I wanted to feed are getting food. And there'll be people that say, well, yeah, don't feed the wafers, feed something else. Like, yes. But this is one of the reasons where I feed real heavy, because it's hard to get all the fish in an aquarium fed. So just pointing that out. Do we see these guys in here? I put some, oh, they're all in the back right now. I put some bamboo shrimp in here that I wanted to hang out with and feed. They're getting the magic small fish feed as well. Yes, controversial take, I do use Windex on the aquariums. I don't have any good spots probably to do it, but you know, I will just straight up spray it on there. And I've yet to have a problem, but I don't go out of my way to spray it in. But in theory, if you're using just true Windex, it shouldn't be a problem anyway. But yeah. Let's see, what else? Go to the 10 gallons. I'm tired of trying to get this right, so I'm just gonna show the 800 gallon. The 800 gallon light's half low. I've been working on it. Filtration. And on camera it looks hazy, which I've been trying to fix that. In person doesn't look as bad. But anyway, we've mixed everything to set the internet on fire: African cichlids, clown loaches, barbs, rainbow fish, and this has kind of been a wildly spectacular success. It's the first time that I've had a tank large enough where I put African cichlids that they are doing natural behavior. And what is that, Corey? Well, I've bred tens of thousands of African cichlids in my life to sell at stores and things, and I always had to take them out of their mouth naturally because I wouldn't get big groups. But this tank is so big, you will see that we're getting schools, literal schools of the fry. So the males are blue, the females are yellow, and then all the babies will be yellow. And you're going, yeah, that's a decent amount. But as we kind of keep coming through here, you'll see just more and more babies swarm up. You can see a female with a mouthful of babies and another mouthful of babies, and they like to release them in the plants. So if I come to the side here, and this is everyone's favorite tank when they come into the fish room here. They go, oh my gosh, this thing's amazing. And yeah, it's fun. It's real fun, I think, is why, you know, the fish look good. You can see here I haven't done the algae, so there's algae on the front glass too that wasn't helping. But I decided, instead of trying to get it perfect ready to film, I'm just gonna film, because it's been 2 months since I've shown you guys my fish room. But yeah, the baby count's through the roof. You can see here that there's a big pit that they dig, and you can see even new babies. And I want to say I'm $2,000 or $3,000 into trying to get this to look good on camera. And what I mean by that is switching filtration. Each one of these right here This is a 9,000 gallon per hour wave maker. So if I plug this bad boy in, you will see all the mulm. So I tried changing a few thousand gallons of water a day and having this running and running fine polishing pads and it just wouldn't, I don't know what's the trick yet. However, I'll show you how much like flow will get whipping around in here, because you wouldn't think like, oh, it's just 9,000 gallons per hour. Like what's that? And you'll start seeing everything move. You can see it'll pull stuff, and this water is gonna get flooded. And I ran this for a month straight, where I had it where these would kick on for 2 hours, the water change would kick on for hours, and I was trying to export as much stuff as I could, and it still didn't matter. So here's the second one. So 18,000 gallons per hour. Let me go ahead and plug this bad boy in. So we go to 18,000 gallons per hour now. And you know, the clown loaches love it, and everyone loves swimming against it, probably except for these little babies. But there's not a single spot in here that's not getting flow. And you can see it'll whip up everything. And we even installed the drum filter. The drum filter did not solve it either. So that rotary drum filter up there didn't solve it. Let me grab my chair. So now, I'm not kind of far enough back away for you guys to see, but the whole picture. But you can see the debris blowing around. And as far as filtration goes, right now we've got 2 of these hooked up. These are basically 5-gallon bucket filters, completely packed with sponge material to collect it all. And then we 3D printed and built custom intakes. They're huge, so that they could let the debris in, and it seemingly kind of makes no difference. So, and everybody's like, have you tried? Have you tried? Have you tried? Yeah, I have. Over the years, I've tried nearly everything. And it's always a state of why it won't look good on camera, but it will look good in person. And so I'm sure lots of people give suggestions down below. I'll read through them all, and I'll probably just be like, yep, done that, done that, done that. Ah, yeah, that, you know, and short of, I honestly, we're at a point now where I don't know. I literally do not know. Another thing that we're testing, and I'll show you, so I'll grab this bucket over here. Got my dog bed and pee pad, because I have to watch them sometimes in here. So I grabbed this bucket. What I'm trying now is back flushing the canister filter. So you're like, why'd you take them out from underneath the stand? And I actually have it so I can plumb it straight to the drain, but I'm trying to see if this will help. If I back flush these, I was doing it like every day, and that was bringing nothing out. So now it's been like 4 or 5 days, I think. And I'll show you what I've set up here. So in theory, I can unplug the main pump here, right? So we do that, which this is all temporary. If it works well, I'm plumbing it permanently. So I unplug it. So part of the thing is like, okay, 18,000 gallons per hour, mixing up all this stuff, sucking in as much as possible into the filters, they're gonna clog. You're gonna collect, you gotta get rid of it. And so we'll see if today, kind of get this going here. So all I have to do is flip that valve. The way these are built, they've got a chamber down here that will allow gunk that is collected below the most coarse, so it's most coarse to finest in here, to back flush. Hopefully it comes out chocolate milk. If not, a little bit of a bummer. Yeah, that basically just looks like clear water. So it's not, like we're collecting, you can see the debris coming out, but yeah. So I'm still kind of a loss on like, how am I really gonna tackle this issue? And all I can really do is keep trying. Like that's what I've been doing, is what I'll keep doing. All this debris, you could say like change fish food. Like, yeah, I went months only feeding frozen. I didn't fix it. You know, I don't think it's a type of fish. I could put goldfish if I swapped everything. If I put goldfish in, they would break down all the little bits. But I tried, you know, we were injecting CO2, I turned that off. We were doing other stuff, I tried that off. And I even stopped dosing just to see like, well, is that part of the haziness? And the answer is no. So all the like, I don't know, the little algae covered dwarf sag that was without fertilizer injection, and now that we have fertilizer injection, it's going crazy again. All the plants are going, oh yeah, we get to eat, yeah, I'll grow. So swapped lighting, tried that too, and but yeah, I mean, literally, if you said like, let's change more water, is 5,000 gallons a day enough? Like, I'm on a well, it's unlimited water. I literally can let this run as long as I can keep heating it. So the maximum amount a oversized water heater can do, and it doesn't put a dent in the clarity really. I can let it sit, like obviously I turned this on to show you guys, but these are coming back out because after months of trying to schedule it and water change it and collect it and do whatever, it looks worse when this is going. And yeah, so kind of just, what am I saying here? Sometimes like you're chasing a dragon that can't be caught. Like perfect water clarity on camera, I think maybe just can't be caught. Yeah, I'm gonna try one more thing. I just thought like, okay, I'm gonna grab it. See if I can grab my camera here and see if it's the same. By the way, custom aquarium co-op rug that a fan made, which is super cool. Got the tank here. Let me see if I can do like this crazy picture-in-picture action. Like, oh, I gotta flip the camera here. I want to see if potentially, because there is a phenomenon with cameras where some cameras can't process like confetti. If you've ever watched like a New Year's thing on TV, cameras can't really process that. So I wonder if the iPhone maybe could be worse at it. Let's see here. Nah, it's the same. I mean, the colors kind of look a little better. Like if I let's use this camera. Maybe. Focus. But yeah, so I don't think it's a camera trick either. I think it's just gotta figure it out. And someone out there, Dean was like, hey, what about commercial aquarium stuff? And I haven't gone down that road. I haven't gone down to $20,000 filtration systems, but also they're so loud you can't be in the same room as them. They'll hurt your ears, basically. So that would mean I couldn't film in here. So it's kind of one of those like, yeah, we kind of have to either solve it that way or just live with it. And I'm kind of I think I'm just gonna live with it, because everyone that I'm chasing a dragon where I only see the faults, which it looks bad on camera now, I get it. But everyone that walks into the fish room goes, this thing's amazing. And I go, yeah, but this and that and this and that. And they're like, yeah, but then they ask questions about like, what about the clown lunches? What about this? What about that? What about this? And look at all these babies. And so like my wife loves it, relatives love it, visitors love it. And I think I'm just down on it because it looks cloudy on camera. So over here, I've got lots of rice fish donated, I guess donated? A fan or a customer brought them into the store, and so I kind of growing them out, checking out if I want to put any outside. So here I've got some dwarf gold barbs. Someone is playing with, kind of wanting to breed a little bit. A lot of these, not a lot, but some of them went to the store, some went outside. Here's another type down here of rice fish. These, let's see, these ones are the ones that I kind of think are the coolest, these goldenish ones. If you get them from the top, they've got like this gold sheen to them. But outside of that, I mean, these are platies, so don't look at those, but like that guy right there. Yeah, there's some more barbs I got to catch out of here, which these are black ruby barbs. There's a dwarf, or not a dwarf, but a neon Rosie barb that I bred and grew out. Now he's just needs to go to the store to be sold. And yeah, there's a bunch of Corridora Venezuela oranges in here, but I can never see them because they hide. Let's see. Yeah, replacement sponge filters are out. I'm using these on the ponds. I'll show you guys that here in a little bit, I think. But you can get both fine and coarse. I'm using the coarse on the pond. And then, yeah, oh, I moved the breeding group of orange laser Corridoras into here, just so they had a bigger tank. And the Rosie bar has been getting a lot of play on YouTube shorts basically, because they look amazing and people go, what is that? And so, yeah, that's kind of the update, I would say. Outside of the pond fish, which we can go do that. I'll grab some supplies. We'll do a little bit of install. All right, well, here's the ponds. This is a light bug whipper thing that is still in R&D, so not ready for prime time, so it doesn't work. So don't worry, you're not missing out on anything. But here is the overflows that we've made and I'm using. So this is a 3D printed part. I'll grab, I prepped some here, but like on this guy, first look at all the mosquito larvae I have here. I'm gonna put fish in here real soon, which I realize is the end of the season, but I got some more goldfish I want to grow out. But this will sit inside here, so just like that. And then if you don't want baby fish to go over, or Daphnia or something, I'm going to do one of these as Daphnia. Pull that up a little bit. Now the water can go through here and not lose your baby fish. And then if that ever got clogged up, you got real busy, it would still go through the top. And so that's what is kind of going on over here. And we put these bad boys. Boy, it's hot today. These are the platinum with blue rice fish out here. I never got any plants out, so I doubt they've made any babies. But this one, there's somewhere in here is veil-tail cherry barbs. And then grab these two. We'll talk about these. These got a little warped. Even though I get like barely any direct sunlight, only in the very early morning or real late at night, the black heats up enough to warp. And so I need to print in a different material for these slides that I was doing. If you guys watched the different build videos. The wind's blowing. Put that in. And then these are offset, like all of our intakes on our pre-filter intakes that we're making now, which I have on some of my tanks. They're offset so you can get it closer or further. So I'll show you here. Like you could have it way far away, basically, or you can rotate it. See how it's much closer now, and so that kind of helps you. If it was on the back of an aquarium, you could get it further away depending on what depth sponge you had. See, these guys are fat. I just got to get them some. Some plants. That's interesting. There's mosquito larvae in here too. So like they're not big enough to eat the mosquito larvae, I guess. But now let's go take a look at the big pond, because there's big infrastructure going on down there too. So first, I just want to show you my backyard. The clover, the white clover, is going really well, and as long as it gets tree shade, we don't have to water it. It's doing great. The minute it gets direct sunlight, if we don't water it, it just dies. The grass and everything. So we're working on rehabbing most of this land to just be more beneficial to nature, which grass being kind of a monocrop and everything is not that, which you could make the argument that that clover's not going to be that either, but we're doing our best. And so we've got, I'm in the Easy Green Mobile. We got a couple trees we planted there. We're making our way down to the pond down here and show you the work we got going on. So you see me in my nice little light summer shirt because it is way too hot. I saw a map, and Washington has the least amount of AC in the United States. 53% of houses have it, so like almost half doesn't. So it used to be right there was a big old gazebo and a dock. No longer there. And that's because we want to rebuild the dock, but we need the water level to get down a little bit, and we're also running water and power. So I'll kind of show you some of that stuff as we kind of go around here around the big pond, see if we can see any fish, frogs, that kind of stuff. So come over here. We did some work over here on the side of the pond to reinforce it earlier in the summer, which meant we planted clover and stuff, so you can kind of see it's coming in pretty thick through here where it gets shade, and then even some where it gets light, we're getting some. But we had to, well, we didn't have, we think we had to. It was starting to kind of recede. There went a big snake. But the slope over here was not mowable or drivable or anything, so we put this rock in to hopefully stabilize. And you can see all these all these blue dragonflies down here. We've had an incredibly dry summer, by the way. I'll zoom in, but yeah, that reminds me of Peru banks, where you get basically the butterflies, you know, hanging out on the mud. And yeah, where did all the dragonflies go? Kind of over here. Too zoomed in to see, but yeah, so you can see there's a lot of water plants, like, you know, I don't know what that is. Maybe someone does. And there's like all of these as well. But it drops several feet. Like, this is down 6 feet, maybe more. And so, yeah, by getting water down here, we might be able to put a little bit of water in and be able to back flush filters that we're going to install, and then we're going to get power. So keep going here. So I part of what I'm trying to show you guys is, like, yeah, aquarium's a kind of mess, but I've been outside working on stuff and trying to really, you know, build some infrastructure and just tackle projects I wasn't able to tackle before, even though I've been here for a few years. So gonna come around here. There's all these cattails, lots of birds live in here. I don't see any jumping frogs. It must be too late in the season. So then this is where it overflows, and this is where we're gonna put the drum filters, and we're basically putting power and water back to here, so we can back flush and do a bunch of filtration. Gotta get all the blackberry bushes out because they're covering it, but yeah, so lots and lots over here. Got some algae down there. Hopefully you can see the koi. It's always hard with, so one of the big reasons why we want the dock is so we can stand over the pond and look down, so you don't have to look across it. You can see all the tree line and everything, because it's just a big reflection, and you can see all the bugs and everything, which is cool. But as far as seeing the koi, you got to kind of sit here in the sun and hope you see them. But a lot of times they'll sun themselves over there, so we'll go look. But it's actually even hard to throw the food far enough because the food's light into the water at this point for them. So, you know, kind of keep trucking around here. Oh, there was something big. You hear that? Probably a big old toad jumped in. So you can see we're still working on everything over here. We took down a bunch of old sheds because we don't need to store it for the store anymore, and they're running water lines, and so, you know, work is actively being done to hopefully get this to something a little more enjoyable. I would love to be able to swim in it where it's not all gunky. You know, we've been in it a few times. Right now, this fake rock right here is actually where the air pump is, but the lawnmower ran over the extension cord, and yeah, so we want to run actual power before we try that again. So you can see, I'll zoom in here. So you can see this overflow. You can see where the water line is. That's a solid 4 feet minimum right there that it would be up. So, you know, it'll keep going down, and we'll be able to put a few more piers into it. I'm trying to see if any of them are coming shallow enough to show you the koi that are in here, or if they're just hanging out in the deeper parts, because it's going to be pretty warm at the edges here. But yeah, if you just listen, it's pretty serene. Just lots of blue dragonflies. All right, well, I'm being summoned in for lunch. It's someone's birthday, and so I was trying to get you guys a video in between doing, you know, family duty. So, yeah, we'll wrap it up inside. All right, couple last things. Easy Green available in a 2-liter now. You can order online, save yourself a little bit of money. And thank you to all the members. We've been doing the Deep in the Muln podcast. Once we run out of the old style, this will be the new style of the mug at the Yeti at the 5-year mark. So if you're considering becoming a member, you get all the Deep in the Mulns weekly. You get the 5% discount on the website, and you get the monthly talks and all that kind of stuff. So just thought I would fit that in, as I gotta go have, well, it's like 4 o'clock, so like early dinner, I guess. Yeah, I'm off to it. Ooh, look, easy root tabs samples. What is that?